We open doors by finding pathways to provide the best possible chance of success for each to reach their career aspirations of choice. As we head through the 2024-25 school year, we will continue to guide our students for the different journeys of life preparedness. We are committed to enhancing academic achievement and developing personal growth through work-based learning of our many career and technical education programs, college readiness, and saluting those who will be serving our country in the armed forces. Engaging, empowering, and elevating students to be successful citizens, workers, and leaders in a global economy remains our mission. Please visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org to learn how we grow minds and invest in our future through 38 schools and one community. Education, the key that unlocks doors of opportunity.
Need cash fast? National Finance Company is here to help. For over 50 years, National Finance Company has been the small loan specialist with loans from $1,000 to $5,000 with low payments to meet your budget. We're in the business of getting you the cash you need today. Apply online for a loan at one of our convenient branch offices and get your money as fast as today. It's easy. Get the cash you need. For extra cash, visit nfcmoney.com.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, get rid of unwanted hair and under-eye fat pads? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar MediSpa for a free consultation and ask about our newest technologies and treatments. Learn more at beautybarmedispa.com, Red Banks Road, Greenville. Enjoy your visit, love your transformation, and go Pirates.
This is Trey Hayes with Advanced Moving and Storage. Advanced Moving and Storage is here to help you have the best move ever. Advanced Moving and Storage is dedicated to making sure you get everything you need on your next move, no matter how large or small, whether you're local, in-state, or out-of-state. Our courteous and experienced personnel is ready to help. Call Advanced Moving and Storage today at 252-321-3200. If you want to remove stress from your next move, use the moving company the Pirates use. Advanced Moving and Storage.
Greenville's hometown pizzeria is Cucinella's. Cucinella's has 2 locations with great options for lunch, dinner, takeout, and they now offer catering. Dine in for lunch with a slice, salad, and a drink with a friend, or stop by after work and grab a beer or glass of wine while you wait for your to-go order. The best pizza, grinders, salads, and homemade Italian ice is at Cucinella's. Cucinella's Midtown across from Best Buy, downtown across from Sup Dogs, and on Facebook and Instagram. Cucinella's, serving handcrafted pizza since 1932. Come taste the difference.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 at 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 at 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties, kind of like the Pirates on Saturday at Charlotte when they had all kinds of issues. Coming up today on the Brian Bailey Show, Kim McNeill's going to join us, and I wanted to clarify some stuff before we even went on the air with the show. The Pirates had said we wouldn't have a football coach available today before the Charlotte game, so we made plans to talk basketball. and Kim McNeill's going to be on with us. But I didn't want anybody to think that we didn't have a football coach on today because of the 55-24 loss to the Charlotte 49ers. You can ask Donnie Kirkpatrick or Steve Shankweiler. We've had assistant coaches on after huge losses before many a time here on the Brian Bailey Show. But Kim McNeill, nice enough to join us to talk women's hoops, and we'll have that for you coming up next here on the Brian Bailey Show.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations, from the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Bostic Sugg Furniture's 87th anniversary sale is a pretty big deal, and so are the savings. Shop special anniversary savings on Lazy Boy, Bassett, and Maven, Best, Serta, Helix, Ultra Comfort lift chairs, and more. Special savings on closeout accessories. Framed art values to $350, now $69. Buy any table lamp, get a matching one free. And in celebration of our founding in 1937, get local delivery for $19.37 during the 87th anniversary sale at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
Take a hit from a 300-pound linebacker, and you better be wearing pads. Take a hit on the road, and you better have good auto coverage. When you've got North Carolina Farm Bureau Auto Insurance, you've got the best local agents ready to help you bounce back. If you don't, well, you'll probably play football without a helmet, too.
This is proud ECU graduate and former baseball player Brandon Manning. Give me a call today, and let's talk about your insurance coverage and about the Pirates. Call 531-1812 and go Pirates.
Pirate Radio.
They'll never forget the eccentric pirate bonnet and his savage, insane, vengeful pirate horde. He's a pirate, a real proper pirate.
A proper pirate.
That man is a fearsome pirate if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely a pirate.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this very weird Monday. We're having some technical difficulties here at the Pirate Radio studios, and I'm in the cockpit with Clip Brock. How about that? My favorite Commodore
My
fan.
favorite Cowboy.
There you go. How about them Cowboys? All right, so we have Kim McNeill on the line with us. We're going to talk women's basketball for the next little bit or so. Coach McNeill, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Well, you got to be doing better than we are right now because they've scrambled to put me in a new studio, and I'm not sure if Clip's bathed in a couple of days, but we're sitting here together right here in the cockpit. No, he's fine. Starting your 6th year as the women's basketball coach, and when you look back at just how far you guys have come, let's start with that. How proud of you of this program, and how much, where's the ceiling for this thing?
Brian, words can't express how proud I am of where we are. Obviously, we haven't hit the ceiling yet. We still got some great years ahead of us. But just thinking back to 2019, when I first took the job, I can remember conversations with John Gilbert before the season started and told me, hey, you'll be lucky if you win 5 games. I think we surpassed that by a little bit. But, the expectations was pretty low, when we first got here. And, each year we just got a little bit better, chipped away a little bit better. And, by the 4th year, ended up winning a championship. And now, Brian, the daily conversations is about winning championships. I couldn't do that in 19 and 20. It was about rebuilding and getting good kids in here and just changing the culture, but we're very, very prevalent in the community. We're doing really great in the classroom, 3.5 team GPA. We're winning championships. So, I couldn't be more proud of how far we've come since 2019.
Kim McNeill joining us on this Monday as we talk Pirate Athletics. As you said, hired March 28, 2019, and then you signed that extension. And really, when you look at the progress that you guys have made, it's been just phenomenal. And we'll talk more about that later on in the show because I really want to go in depth with you. I don't think, when you're in a position like you are, most of the time, when the media wants to know about this game or the next game or what happened in that game. But really, you've got a great story to tell. And it all started back when you were playing at Richmond way back when. The all-defensive team, which I didn't know, but I was doing some research last night before the Cowboy game. But the bachelor degree in sports science. But what was it like as a college athlete for you? Because it's changed so much for the college athletes that you're dealing with now.
Goodness gracious, has it not changed? Back then you were just extremely excited, proud, and happy just to be getting your education paid for,
Yeah.
Where now, that these kids are getting paid. We didn't have the training tables. We didn't have NIL. We didn't have cost of attendance. The portal, didn't exist. So it's definitely extremely different. So recruiting is different, and it's definitely changed. But, my journey, has been a long journey. I've had the opportunity, to coach under some unbelievable coaches. Kenny Brooks, who turned Virginia Tech around, who's now at Kentucky. Andy Landers, the Hall of Famer at Georgia. Joanne Boyle, who I worked for at Richmond, Cal, and Virginia, who I learned so much from. So, I've been very fortunate to be able to work for some great people and to also have some great people to work under me. I can't take credit for all the success. I've had some unbelievable assistants. I've had some great players. John Gilbert had, believed in the program when I think a lot of people stopped believing and kind of gave up on us. So it's been a tough journey at times, but it's also been very rewarding.
You made the all-defensive team at Richmond. Is that where your love for defense came, and then you started learning more about defense as an assistant coach through all those years? But is that where it really started?
It did. I have to tell you, I was more offensive-minded.
Everybody is.
Threes. Yeah. I love shooting threes. I love to score. And then, my senior year, I had an assistant coach by the name of Kathy Parson, who really taught me the angles of defense. Like it's the size and athleticism help. Yes, it does. But it's also about, the heart and learning how to play angles. And she really taught me to play defense in a different way. And I would love it when I would pick up another point guard 90 feet and just see that fear in their eyes. It just, my adrenaline would just start to flow. And so I also learned that, with defense, it's all about effort. And so you can control how hard you want to play every day. There were times when, I would shoot the ball and it felt good leaving my hand, but it was just an off night for me. So, one of my philosophies, with being a coach is, control the controllables. And you can always control how hard you want to play. And defense comes down to, effort and heart.
When did you know as an assistant coach that you really wanted to be a head coach? Because, sometimes some people are lifetime assistants, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's the role, they fit in. That's what they want to do because it's completely different with some of the responsibilities and stuff. But at what age or what part of your career did you say, hey, I really think I could be a head coach?
I think it was probably around my 4th or 5th year when I realized, hey, this is something I want to do for life, just impacting the lives of young women, just seeing how I could connect and just play a role in helping them grow. I loved it, and I think that's what really got me, the reputation of being a great recruiter was because I could just relate. I could relate with anybody. Unfortunately, now, it's not all about how good you can relate, because all kids just want money. How much money can you give me?
Yeah.
So that recruiting has definitely changed. But, I realized it probably about my 4th or 5th year, Brian, but then, I waited. I was an assistant coach for 16 years before I got my first opportunity. And I had chances when I was at Georgia. I turned down some jobs, but I felt like I still wanted to learn. There was more for me to learn.
Right.
And I just feel like these days, I think people think they're ready to be a head coach after 4 or 5 years. There's just so much more to learn. So I'm very grateful that I was able to work under those head coaches, and I learned a lot. And I feel like I was a very seasoned assistant coach when I got my first opportunity at the University of Hartford.
Yeah, what was it like at Hartford those 3 years as head coach?
Once again, rebuilding. And I think I got the reputation of being a rebuilder because all the programs I went to as an assistant was kind of rebuilding. When I, went to Cal Berkeley with Joanne, it was a rebuilding. We turned that thing around. I went to Georgia. I wouldn't call that rebuilding because, we were top 10, top 15 my whole 4 years there. But then when I went back with Joanne to Virginia, it was rebuilding a little bit. And then at Hartford, Jen Rosati, who had been the coach there for years, had done an incredible job of building a reputation for that program. But just that final 3 years, they hadn't had a winning season. And we went in the first year, won 16 games. Second year, won 19. Third year, won 23 and made postseason play. And my last 2 years made it to the championship game. And then that's when John Gilbert, noticed it and gave me an opportunity here at ECU.
And then you took the Pirate job and started rebuilding there. You mentioned it a little bit about recruiting and the NIL. I want to go into detail about that. And you really can't go into much detail as far as some of it because, the rules are so murky as far as what you can do and what you can't do. But when you were at Hartford recruiting, did you ever think that you were going to have a day when you had a job recruiting as a head coach where you were going to talk money?
No. Not at all. Not at all. And I think that's what allowed us at Hartford to kind of get some kids, because my philosophy is I don't want to recruit against people in my league. I want to recruit against the leagues that are, quote unquote, a little bit better. And we were able to do that. We were able to get some kids that maybe could have played in the CAA or things of that nature of conferences that were, quote unquote, a little bit better than us, and which allowed us to be successful. And I brought the same philosophy here with me, to ECU. But first and foremost, it was about changing the culture. It was about doing a better job in the classroom, being visible in the community. And once we did that, the first 2 or 3 years, and we got really good kids that were just good people, we started kind of bringing in some kids that, could play a little bit. And so it was a mixture of kids that understood the game, kids that could just play. And that's really when it turned around. But, once COVID hit, you dealt with the portal, you got NIL, and it's a totally different conversation now. I mean, it really is. It's a total different conversation.
And it really, when you think about going out and recruiting, and then you have to put your little fires in different spots because you don't know who's going to accept and who's not, and then trying to juggle money. What are you allowed to do as a coach in recruiting as far as money goes? Are you allowed to talk specific dollars and cents that you can offer, or is it kind of like we think we can do such and such? How does that work?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can talk, dollars, and these last couple of years, that's been, the first thing that comes out of kids' mouths.
Wow.
How much money do you have? And it's unfortunate, but guess what, Brian? That's the way of college athletics.
That's it.
And I know a lot of people don't like it. I know they don't agree with it. I know Pirate Nation, we don't like it, but unfortunately, that's the way it is, and it's not going anywhere. So if we want to continue for, ECU athletics to continue to grow, we've got to find a way to get money for NIL, or unfortunately this program is going to go backwards and be back where we were in 2019, and really there's nothing we can do about it because that's just the way it is right now. Do I like it? No, I don't like it, but it is what it is, and we got to keep moving forward, and I want to keep building this program and keep moving it forward and continue to be in the conversation for championships to continue to make Pirate Nation proud.
I was talking to someone in Charlotte this weekend, and they were telling me that they had heard a story that one of the donors to NIL was complaining because they set apart money for a certain player, and that player had gotten benched because another player on the team was out playing that player, and he was upset about that. And that's a whole different can of worms, isn't it?
Yeah, and it happens. I've talked to some of my counterparts who's like, I brought a freshman in and I gave him X amount of money, and, a junior stepped up, and now my junior's starting, and my freshman's sitting the bench, and the junior's not getting any money. So it's it's kind of crazy how we're giving freshmen money that have never put on an ECU jersey or bounced a basketball or anything. It's kind of a risk that you take, but that's where we are right now. It sucks because it's not. I love building relationships. I love getting to know kids and feeling like they're coming here because they feel like I can make them a better player and make them a better person. I still think we're getting those kind of kids. I really do, and I'm really proud of the fact that the portal has not killed us. I've lost one or two kids here and there, but really only one kid that I would say that was, going to make, and Tania Thompson. But we've been able to keep Danae McNeill here for 3 years. Micah Dennis stayed. Amaya Joyner's still here. So, obviously we're doing something right, Brian.
Yeah.
Coach is pretty good because my best kids haven't left yet. Knock on wood.
And that's.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's the other angle of this thing is if player X is making such a certain amount of money and player Y is not making any, and player Y is playing above her, and they hear that this person's making. I mean, there's all kinds of jealousies and there's all kinds of and all of that is so out of character for college athletics, but it's what we're dealing with now.
It is, and for me, and you haven't even said anything about the portal.
Right. We haven't even mentioned the portal
too. But for me, we have five scholarships going into this 25 class, and I'm all about high school kids. I just think that's where the program changes. You develop relationships, they understand expectations. I think that's when this program changed, when we brought in that group of Amaya Joyner, Jayla Earp, and Bobby Smith. Those kids we have recruited for a long time. They wanted to come in and they wanted to change the culture. They wanted to win championships, and I felt like that's when we started to turn it over. And we also, had Danae McNeill, Micah Dennis came in that year. And this year, hey, if I can sign all 5 freshmen in November, I'm good with it. I'm good. I've told my staff we will use the portal for what we don't get, where there's some teams out there that won't even recruit high school kids and will go straight to the portal. But I just think that's where you build a program is through high school recruiting, developing those relationships.
And the other thing is as you develop those relationships with the high school kids, and then if a high school kid says, well, thanks, but no thanks, I'm going to go here to another school, and then a year later, they could be in the portal. And so you make that relationship, and then you have a chance to bring them back.
And that's the majority of my portal kids.
Yeah.
Twins. Recruited the crap out of them out of high school. They go to Florida, don't like it. Boom, we already got a relationship. They only make one phone call. Boom, they're here.
Yeah.
Timmy Jenkins, same thing. Recruited her out of high school. She goes to Georgia. She makes one phone call. Boom, she's here. Ajane Hutton, she's a new kid we got this year. She played for Coach T when Coach T was at Howard. So there's a relationship there. So, 90% of my kids off the portal were previous relationships. We already know what we're getting. They understand the expectations. They want to come here. They want to win a championship. And, we keep moving forward.
I'm glad you said Ajane's name because I saw that last night and I thought, how am I going to get through this one if somebody doesn't say it first so I can understand how to say it? But we're going to talk about some of the players.
I can't get all of that out in practice, Brian, so I just call her Nay.
And there you go. Nay, that's what I'll call her there. Nay sounds good right there. Kim McNeill, the head basketball coach for the East Carolina women, is our guest on this Monday. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back and continue our conversation to get you ready for the upcoming basketball season, ladies style, after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. East Carolina Volleyball knew it would have to match the offensive power of North Texas Sunday afternoon, and the Pirates were certainly up to the task, outlasting the Mean Green 3-2 in a pivotal early season AAC match inside Minges Coliseum. ECU is now 10-4 overall, 3-1 in conference play, and will travel next week for a pair of conference bouts at Tulane on Friday and Rice on Sunday. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Mumfest returns to historic downtown New Bern this weekend. Join Riverside Automotive Group and Bojangles for 2 days of Mumfest family fun featuring Protown BMX, carnival rides, acrobats, dog shows, amazing craft vendors, live music, and tasty festival food. Bring your friends and join us for this amazing fall celebration this Saturday and Sunday in historic downtown New Bern. Hey, Mumfest fans, it's fun time.
Pirate football is back, and the only way to dress for game day is to visit UBE or pirateware.com. UBE has all your game day apparel, such as polos, tees, hats, and jerseys. UBE also has all the merchandise to keep your tailgate undefeated. Pirate flags, decals, face tattoos, and more. And for your little pirates, visit our Crow's Nest with Pirate Nation's largest selection of youth apparel. UBE has special hours on Sunday after home games, open from noon till 5. And you can visit pirateware.com anytime. UBE, where every day is game day.
What's up, Pirate Nation? Are you guys ready for some ECU football? Because we are here at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And to kick this season off, we're doing 90 days till first payment on all Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams. Also, up to $9,500 off new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 2-row and up to $7,000 off the 24 model Jeep Grand Cherokee 3rd row. Don't forget to check out our huge selection of affordable used vehicles starting from $699 and up. Remember, drive a little, save a lot. Go Pirates.
Do life stresses have you feeling exhausted? Do your golf, tennis, and workouts have your body aching? If so, K-Ross Float and Wellness Studio has your solution. Come visit us on 2800 East 10th Street and try our services like our Float Therapy, which is a private pool containing a saturated solution of Epsom salt that allows you to float effortlessly for ultimate relaxation and therapy. At K-Ross Wellness Studio, we also have an infrared, sauna, cold plunge, and salt halo therapy that will leave your body feeling relaxed and healed. Contact us today at krossfloats.com. K-Ross Floats and Wellness Studio. Restful intentions.
From the belt, here's the delivery.
Pirate Radio, the station that always delivers.
Fine, and lapping it up faster than we can deliver.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Kim McNeill joining us to talk about East Carolina women's basketball. The ladies getting set to start there, 24-25. That doesn't even sound right, does it, Coach? 2025?
Oh, my goodness. Time is going too fast. Needs to slow down.
I tell you, it's something. Let's go back a couple of years. Take us back to 22-23. You guys 23-10, finished third in the American Athletic Conference. You were the American Coach of the Year. The girls went out, won the American Championship. Obviously, that's the goal every year if you can win a championship. But that had to be really special because that was a really, really good team that just put you guys to a different level.
It was, and I think what made it more special was the fact that we got picked last.
Yeah.
Picked 11. So, and I expected it. That year before we had lost to Nia Thompson, to the portal, who averaged 20 points a game for us. So, I knew that the league, was going to doubt us, that the other coaches wasn't going to respect us, but they didn't know what we had coming in. And so that team that year just had a lot of grit. We were so resilient. There's so many times that we got down by 10 and 12 points with 2 or 3 minutes left to go in the game, and we just never quit. We beat Houston here in a triple overtime game that I think was probably one of the most exciting games I've ever been.
That was a classic, yes.
Yeah, and then, we go in a championship game, and we scored 2 points in the first quarter against Houston, but that team was just so grimy. They were so gritty, and they just refused to lose. And I think a big part of it was that you had some freshmen out there that played a part. They just had no clue. They just went out there and they just played. They didn't feel the pressure. They just played and did what they did well. So, we obviously wanted to build on that last year, but unfortunately had some key injuries. Still was able to win 19 games and make it back to a championship game. So proud of what we were able to do last year as well.
You brought it up, and I was going to ask about it. But when you're playing Houston for the championship and the first quarter ends and you go back to the huddle and you scored a grand total of 2 points, what are you talking about right there? Because you're on pace to score 8. So you got to get something going, don't you?
It's crazy because I was talking about this game. Yeah, Hayden, my son, had a travel ball game yesterday, and I was talking to a parent, and somehow that game got brought up. But, I just talked about, leadership and just, how the top responds is going to trickle down to the team. So it was a lot of youth out there, not only in just, freshman, sophomore, but a youth and being in that position. Like, nobody on that team had ever played in a championship game.
Right.
Nobody on that team had ever been a part of a winning season. So it took a lot for me, but I had to stay very calm and composed because I knew that if I was on the sideline freaking out, they were going to freak out. So I just kept staying as positive as possible, encouraging them, telling them to keep playing hard, keep defending, because the thing about it, Houston wasn't scoring a lot either.
Right.
They obviously had more than 2 points. But, we just kept telling them, keep believing in what we do. We defend, and the ball is going to start going in. And it did a little bit more for us the second half, but we never stopped defending, and we were able to make some big plays in timely situations and was able to come away with the win.
And then you're able to go to the NCAA tournament, which is every player's dream, to go and be a part of March Madness as a 13 seed, taking on the 4 seed, the homestanding Texas Longhorns. What was that trip like for you when you think back about it?
I'm just so glad that the young ladies was able to experience it. And I said this to them when we had our shoot-around against Houston, and we finished the shoot-around, and I told them, I said, once we win this game tonight, the thing that you're going to remember for the rest of your lives is the moment your name gets called out in the selection show. I said, that's going to be a surreal moment. You're never going to forget it. I've experienced it as a player, as a coach, and I just wanted my team to be able to experience that. And that's something that they will never, ever forget. They'll tell their kids, their grandkids, all about it. And that's what you play college athletics for, is to have those moments that you can remember for a lifetime. And for us to be able to go down there and just get the publicity that we got for Pirate Nation, for East Carolina, putting women's basketball back on a map, just seeing how proud the community was of us, and just get people talking and excited again about women's basketball. That's why I came here, Brian. I came here to get Pirate Nation excited about, another sports besides football and basketball and baseball. I want Pirate Nation to be excited and come out and support, East Carolina women's basketball as well.
And that was just such a neat trip to see, a place like Texas, which when you think of facilities in this nation, Texas has got to be in the top 3 or 4, you would think.
Definitely.
And it was incredible to see what they had.
It was. I mean, that's the cream of the crop right there. They're probably one of the top 2, money-making athletic programs, it is in the country, and their facilities definitely showed it. But, I tell them, we had this conversation today, it doesn't matter, who we go up against, we're going to compete. We got outnumbered, we got out big, we got out size, we got out quickness. But, we're going to always fight no matter who we go up against. We're going to compete. If you're going to step on that floor, you're going to compete.
Competition is where it's at. Kim McNeill in her 6th year as the East Carolina women's basketball coach. We're going to talk about her roster in just a bit. Let's talk a little bit about your coaching staff. You had a couple of changes there. I noticed Micah Dennis back as a grad assistant. That's got to mean a lot to you.
It does. I was so disappointed that the NCAA did not that they denied her waiver. We did a waiver, we appealed it, and both times it got denied. And I just felt like she got a really raw deal, especially how long we had to wait. I mean, they made that kid wait for like 3 months. We didn't find out that they denied her appeal until she had already graduated. So that's what in May, she was back home in Canada. And so I'm always about taking care of my people, taking care of my players. And I told her, I said, look, if they don't, approve this appeal, then I'm going to bring you on staff. And Micah did, she was a huge part of us winning that championship. I think if she wouldn't have gotten hurt, we would have won it again last year. And so she's a great kid, got her undergrad, got her master's here in 2 years. And so I wanted to reward her. I wanted to bring her back. And it's great having her back and hearing her voice every day.
And she was almost like a coach on the floor, wasn't she?
She was. Yeah. She was. And we missed that with her and Sania not being out there last year. We missed that leadership. We missed that, just that second coach on the floor, because that point guard position is extremely important.
We'll talk about Sania in just a few minutes because she's going to be an important part of this year's team. Talk about some of your other assistants. Let's start with Coach Williams, Jeffrey Williams.
Yeah, so Jeff has been great. Jeff has been in this thing longer than me, 30-plus years, and just having his experience on the bench and in practice. He's been a head coach. He was the head coach at LaSalle for multiple years. So just having that experience, that calm factor, he doesn't get upset a whole lot. He's been there. He understands what I'm going through sitting in that chair. So just having another body there that understands what I've been through has been tremendous for me the last 3 years.
And a lot of coaches like to have that experienced, someone a little older, who's been around, and sometimes you need that, don't you?
Yes, you do. You do. And I mean, it's just, that person that understands, I think sometimes people think that, coaching is just about X's and O's. Well, that's not even half of what we do. 80% of our time is spent in managing people. And Coach Landis used to tell me that. He was like, you're going to spend majority of your time managing people and less time X's and O's. And so it's good to have somebody here that understands that.
How about Coach Holmes, your recruiting coordinator?
Yeah, it's Coach T. She just, she's very relatable with the players. The players love her. She has a lot of energy. She's always out on the road recruiting for me. She does an unbelievable job with the guards. For me, when I'm looking at my staff, it's about fit. I hate having to replace somebody on my staff. It's got to be a small. I don't interview 20 different people. It's a small number, but there's a certain thing that I'm looking for. It's a fit. Somebody that can fit me, and somebody that first and foremost wants to help these young women grow. And Coach T is that. She's a great role model. She's a mother. So she's an unbelievable role model for these young women.
And then Jason Harris with you.
Yeah, Jason Harris, first year, stepped right in. He's a multitasker, can do a lot of different things. He's a go-getter. He's a people person, really good on the floor. With developing players. And at this level, we have to develop players. We have to make kids better. And I think we've done a really good job of that. Of every year, our kids get better, and we spend a lot of time in that gym. So he's been really good so far. Still learning his way, but he's been really good so far.
And we talk about it all the time, that coaching staffs, you spend more time with your staff really than you do with the team and the family and everything like that, traveling. And if you don't have a group that gets along and that truly loves one another, it's really difficult. It
is. And you said it, Brian. You spend more time with this group right here than you do your family. Sometimes they're the ones that get left out. But, I really pride myself on running this like a family. So, right today, Pitt County doesn't have school. Coach T's daughter is here, running around. My two would be here, but they'd rather stay at home. But, I have no issues with, family coming in. I think it's good for our girls to see us in a different dynamic, not just as coaches, but as moms, as dads. And, our staff, all four of us have raised daughters or is raising daughters. And I think that's something that parents love to see, that we've had that experience of raising daughters. But, sports is family. When you think of sports, you think family.
Right.
And I want them to be around, and I want our girls to see us in that light. And I want them to look at me and Coach T as role models, as women that are able to do it all, not just coaching, but good moms, good mothers, good wives, role models, all of that. Like, I want them to see that, because I want that to be what they inspire to be one day.
And you mentioned your son, Caden, playing baseball. I know he played for Ramey Steins in Greenville Little League, and we lost a big one earlier this summer. It was just heartbreaking and it still breaks my heart thinking about it. But I know he meant a lot to you and your family as well.
Brian, it's like we lost a family member.
Yeah.
And when I got that phone call that day, I was like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
Coach Ramey, from Caden started, Little League here starts at 9, and Caden had played for him for 3 years, and I think Coach Ramey was starting to get tired, and he wanted to stop, but he was like, I want to see Caden through his 12-year-old year, and he challenged Caden. I love it, because me and Corey are very challenging as parents and as coaches, and he saw something in Caden, and he knew how to get it out of him. And in that first 9-year-old year, I was a little concerned. I was like, he's really hard on him. He's only 9, but I saw what he was doing, and Caden respected it, and he loved it. And he loved him some Coach Ramey. And 12-year-old year, he's going to dedicate to Coach Ramey. He's actually going to switch his number to number 12 to represent Coach Ramey, because I think that's the number he wore here at ECU. But he was just a great man who loved some Little League. He loved Greenville community. He loved ECU. He actually would come out, watch us practice, come to games. And so, we're going to do a dedication to him for one of our games this year. We're going to have Little League night, and we're going to, we had a lot of success here. Little League softball won.
Yes.
One team made it as far as they could go. Ramey's team made it, out to Warner Robins. So we're going to have a night for them, and then we're going to have a dedication to Coach Ramey honor him at the game as well.
That's very nice. I mean, it's as you know, we were really good friends, and I'll never forget that. So that's great. And anytime, I think there are a lot of things that are going to be honoring him coming up in the next several weeks with basketball season getting cranked up and everything. But it's very nice for you and the ladies to do something. And I've told you this before. I thank you when I was going through my illness last year. You guys, got me a nice gift, edible arrangement, and welcomed me back, and that meant a whole lot too.
Yeah, it's sometimes in life things are bigger than basketball, and people come into your lives and they they affect you in one way or the other, and that's something that I preach to my girls on a daily basis. Be thankful for what you have. We're going to give back to this community. We're very blessed, and we, on a daily basis, we're praying for Western Carolina and everything that they're going through, with the flooding and stuff. But, sometimes in life it's bigger than basketball.
Kim McNeill, very well said. We'll take another commercial break. We'll come back. We'll continue on with the women's coach. We'll talk about her roster coming up when our show continues on this Monday after this.
Pirate Nation, this is Brian Buck with Buck Insurance Agency. This season, when you attend your favorite sporting event, take the game day pledge. If your team is playing, win or lose, support your team to the end of the game. When you leave early, you risk missing your favorite athlete making the play of their career. When our family buys a ticket, we always plan to stay to the very end. Take the game day pledge this season with Buck Insurance Agency. Play to the end, stay to the end.
Pirate fans, East Carolina tips off the 2024-25 basketball season soon, so now's the time to purchase your season tickets. High-flying senior R.J. Felton leads the charge on the men's side, while Farmville native Mama Joyner looks to lead the women back to the NCAA tournament. Men's season tickets start as low as $125, while the women are just $45. Go to ECUPirates.com or call 800-DIAL-ECU to purchase your tickets today.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar, and there's always something special happening at the Rick House. Join us for lunch. It's our 2 for $20 lunch special during the week, and it's the perfect spot for that lunch business meeting. The Rick House celebrates the last Thursday of every month with a special wine tasting, and our buffet brunch is to die for. Follow the Rick House on Facebook for the latest schedule. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of PIP Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growitpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. PIP, where business goes to grow.
Where do you find the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Eastern North Carolina? It's DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com is a combination of 4 dealerships in Eastern North Carolina with a fully stocked inventory of over 200 SUVs, trucks, and cars. If you're looking to upgrade your vehicle or purchase for a new driver in the house, get shopping today at DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com, supporting the Pirates for over 47 years.
Did you know that GUC's electric rates are the lowest in Pitt County? GUC's average residential electric bill, using 1,000 kilowatt hours per month with load management, is $21 lower than the investor-owned utilities and $34 lower than the local co-ops. In fact, GUC's average electric bills are still $10 lower than they were 10 years ago. Low rates with high reliability. That's the value of public utilities. That's the value of GUC.
Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Like a cold beer on a hot summer day. Nice. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. Kim McNeill, the head basketball coach for the East Carolina ladies in her 6th year, getting ready to start year number 6 as the Pirates get set for the brand new basketball season. When you look at your roster as a whole, what do you like the most about it?
Oh, I love our size. I think, we have the best forwards in the league. I think that they're really going to give problems. And we got the twins returning, obviously Amaya, and then, we got a newcomer. Well, she's actually a transfer in Nay Hutton, who's going to be really, really good for us. With Morgan Mosley returning for her 5th year. So I just think we got depth at that position. We got scoring, we've got rebounding, we've got physicality. So I like our chances when we're matching up with other bigs.
Let's start off with Amaya. My Joyner. I've covered her now. I guess what is this? Let's see, 4 years in high school and 3. But she gets better and better. She was the American Freshman of the Year in 23. And when she's done at East Carolina, I mean, she's going to have just about every record, isn't she?
She is. She had a really, really good off season. She stayed in the gym, conditioned on her own. Her body's in really good shape. I told her, this has got to be her breakout year. We need her to be big for us in order for us to be successful. I think she's going to draw so much attention. So we're working on her just staying calm, staying composed, not letting, refs or other teams get in her head, just being very mentally tough. But she's had a really good off season.
Getting ready to start her junior year. She has 723 career points, 609 rebounds, 98 blocks, looking to become the second player in Pirate history with 1,000 points and 100 blocks, and she's well on her way as far as that goes. But, man, just, and when you recruit a player like that, she has the tools, but you really don't know exactly what you're going to get, do you?
You don't, so you have to trust that you're putting them in, into a good environment, a good culture that, will help, build her, both mentally and physically. I knew that she could come here and be extremely successful, but sometimes when you stay at home like that, it's a lot of pressure. People, obviously felt like she could have went bigger, she could have went higher, and could she? Yes, she could have, but I think East Carolina is the best fit for her. Just our environment, our culture, being a family atmosphere, obviously me caring about her more than just about basketball, helping her grow as a young woman. But it can be pressure staying at home, expectations and standards, obviously with Holt Nailers. I mean, I guess he can attest to it too,
right.
At home is just a lot of pressure. And sometimes we forget that they're still kids, they're still kids, they're still growing, they're still learning how to deal with adversity. But I think this is going to be a really good year for her. Where she's going to break out and show some really big numbers for us.
And the unfortunate thing about the world we live in now is that you have a girl like Amaya who's a great, great player, but you have to continue almost to recruit her. You have a great relationship with her, but you still have to fend off the vultures, don't you?
You definitely do. No, you got to continue to recruit your own.
Yeah.
So not only are you recruiting for the future, you're recruiting to keep your kids, because at this level, unfortunately, at East Carolina, we bring kids in, we make them better, they put up big numbers, then the Power Four comes after.
Right.
Then Power Four throws all this money at them, and then people are looking at us like, oh, coach got this kid leaving, that kid leaving. Well, some things you just can't help. You just can't control. And, when somebody's throwing out major money at kids, they're obviously going to take it. But as I said before, we've up to this point have been very fortunate that our top kids haven't left.
And I can't imagine what I would do at age 62 if someone threw big money at me. And these kids, I just don't understand, the maturity level and what they have to, try to figure out and because, as we learn as we get older, that money can't buy happiness. And we understand that as we get older, but we don't understand that at that age, do we?
No, definitely don't. All they see is the dollar signs.
Yep. And Amaya can see some big dollar signs, I'm sure, because she is an outstanding player in women's basketball. Sania Johnson comes back at the point guard position. What a sweet young lady she is, and really enjoyed I guess that was one of the things I enjoyed most about going on the trip with you guys to Texas, was the fact to meet some of the girls that I knew a little bit about but didn't know a whole lot. But she's such a sweet young lady, very nice every time we interview her, and really a good basketball player.
Sania is the ultimate pirate. She is. If anybody has met her, they would have the same things to say about her as you. She's just a great person, a great student. I think in her 4 years here at ECU, she got maybe 2 or 3 Bs, just a perfectionist. She's going to actually, she's got 2 more years with us because obviously she's a COVID, so this is actually her COVID year. and then she got hurt last year, so she's going to get that year back next year. So she'll be here for 6 years. She's starting her MBA.
Wow.
And just an exceptional young woman that Pirate Nation should be extremely proud of.
Man, she'll be paying taxes in the city. She's been here so long. That's good news for her, and good news for your basketball program, because she's just an outstanding ambassador for the program, and that means so much to you.
And we missed her tremendously last year.
Oh yeah,
we definitely missed her.
All right, talk about the Twin Towers and the White sisters and how important they are to the team.
Yeah, so, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but end of the year, they both had shoulder surgeries. Crazy, right? Twins have shoulder surgery.
Wow.
Have them on opposite shoulders. But they missed all of the summer. Just got released to go full contact first day of practice, which was, September 25th. But looking good, getting back up to speed. When we got them, it was really had to motivate them to score, because they at Florida, they were used as rebounders and screens. And it was about building their confidence, getting them to understand that I didn't bring you here to be a screener. I brought you here to score. And so it took a while. It did. And I think probably around conference play when it really clicked for Tati that she can score, that she's big, she's strong, that I needed her to score. And I thought she finished the year off really, really strong. And I was, obviously injuries are injuries. And I was, really felt bad for them that they had to miss this summer because their confidence was starting to grow. And obviously when you have to not touch a ball for about 3 months, it's almost like starting over. But, we need them to score for us. We need them to rebound for us in order for us to be successful as well. Inside out is how we like to play.
Yeah, and defensively, when you take chances on defense, it's nice to have somebody back to protect the basket.
It really is. And we get after it defensively. Our guards, we get up. We cause a lot of pressure. And, when we get by to know that we got, the twins back there and Amaya as well, it definitely builds your confidence to want to step up and get a little bit tighter on the ball.
All right, let's talk about some of your newcomers. You mentioned Hutton earlier. What do you say? You call her Zane?
Call it Nay.
Nay.
Ajane.
I got yeah. Now see, I heard you say it earlier, and then I looked at her name. I said, "How'd she get that out of that?" But yeah, there you go, Nay Hutton.
Call her Nay. Just
Nay.
call her Nay.
She's Nay now.
Yeah. Nay. She had started her career at Howard University, played at UCF the last 2 years, but actually was freshman of the year at Howard University. But last year had a knee injury, so didn't play. Transferred to us this year and is just starting to get back going, coming off that knee injury. But I tell you, you talk about basketball IQ. The kid has an unbelievable understanding of the game, just knows how to play, knows how to score. I'm just trying to get her back fully healthy because when she gets back, she's definitely going to help us. Very explosive, but right now, with that knee isn't as explosive as I've seen her in the past, but she'll get there. But just a great addition that's going to help us. What's
her prognosis then with that knee? I mean, is she going to be 100% soon, or is it going to be a work in progress?
No, she's full go right now.
Right.
It's just I wouldn't say she's 100% with the knee.
Okay.
We're still working to gain strength, in the quad, the hamstring, and around there. But she's full go in practice. So, she'll be playing once we start.
So she had stops at Howard and UCF, and then Ware had stops at LSU and UCF.
Yes. So, obviously going into this recruiting period last year, the point guard position was a position we knew we had to fill. If I didn't learn anything from last season, that you got to have multiple point guards on your team. So we went out and we got 2 point guards, one in a freshman and one in a transfer, and Tamia Ware. So Tamia, came. They were teammates. Tamia actually did play for UCF last year, had some big games for them. So right now, in practice, it's really about the team learning 2 new point guards and 2 new point guards, learning a veteran team. I think this year, this is the most experience that I've had since I've been here. We've got several kids that was on that championship team. We had several kids left over from, our run from last year. So, this is a veteran team that, understands, how we want to play. They understand the system. And so we've been able to move a little bit faster in practice than what we've had to do before, in the past. But, the key is going to be these 2 point guards. And obviously we got Samia that can play some backup. Bobby Smith was able to play a lot of minutes at the point. So it's actually, 4 kids out there that I can throw in at the point. But Tamia and Devin, and the nickname is Pooter, those 2 are true point guards that we have on the roster.
Talk about some of the other players that are on the roster that you expect to really contribute this year.
I'm expecting a big year from Kaya. I thought Kaya Miller finished the season out really strong. I think her last 4 or 5 games, she may have averaged double figures for us. And she's had a great off season, has matured. Leadership is starting to step up. Obviously, understanding there's a lot of points that we lost with Danae McNeill, graduating and having no more eligibility for us. So, I don't expect for anybody to average 22, 23 points a game for us. I do expect Amaya to get at least 16 to 18 a night for us. So those points are going to be, done by committee. And I think on any given night, we got 4 or 5 kids that can lead us in scoring. But I do look for Kaya to have a big year. Jayla Earp is back. Obviously, she was out last year. We sat her out the whole year, made sure she was fully healthy. She's looking really good in practice. And then Bobby Smith is having good moments. So Morgan Mosley, is bringing good energy, doing what she does, taking charges, getting big rebounds. So, I think the biggest thing to teams having success is when teams really buy into their roles. And everybody can't be a scorer. You need kids that want to do different things, rebound the ball, be at the right place, be vocal, be a defensive stopper, be a scorer. And I think we're starting to buy into what our roles are. And the quicker we can do that, the quicker we'll see success.
And I talk with Cliff Godwin all the time about players buying into their roles and how important that is, because everybody can't start. Basketball, you get 5 of them. Baseball, you get 9, and you got your pitchers. But, basketball, you got 5 starters, but you have so many different important roles that have to be filled. And if players don't accept that role, then that upsets the apple cart. But if they accept their roles and really relish those roles, you can really do a lot of good things.
And I really think that was another part of why we won a championship. Midway through the season, it started to click. People start to understand their roles. And I can't tell you, I'm not going to sit here and say to you that they like those roles, but they bought into them. And
right.
Me personally, I don't care if you don't like it. Just buy into it. If you want more, buy into that first role first. And then I'll give you a little bit more. But if you're going to fight me and combat with me about the role that I'm giving you, then that's when you're probably going to come have a seat with me. But if you buy into your role and you do that role to your best ability and we start to see success out of that, that's when a coach feels more confident to put more on your plate and to give you more. But you got to buy into that first role first. And I think midway through the season in that championship year, kids started to buy into their roles and really knew and did what they needed to do in order for us to be successful.
What do you think of your schedule coming up as far as the games go when you guys get going for real?
I think we set up a really competitive non-conference schedule. We got to go back to South Carolina, who will probably be ranked number 1, which is good. That I like going, playing one really good top 25 team a year. We're going out to Vegas. We'll play UNLV, who was a top 25 team last year. It's always a tough game between us and VCU. We got to go to JMU, who's a great program. We got to go to ODU. That's a great program. So I think we've got a good balance of some games that we can win and some games that are going to challenge us. That's going to get us ready for conference play, because I think conference play is going to be just like last year. It's probably going to be one game that's going to separate you between finishing 2nd and finishing 7th.
Yeah.
Last year that was a race, and so I think we've done a good job of setting up, the schedule where we're going to get challenged, but we can come out, and be on top and have a good record going into conference play.
Ken McNeill joining us. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. This hour flew by. I sure appreciate it because, when you're talking in my past women's basketball, and I try to read up on it, but I think I've learned a lot. We didn't even talk about the size. I always talk to women's coaches about the size of the basketball just to get their opinion on it, but we didn't even bring that up, so that was a good thing. Yep. But it was great to hear about your team, and looking forward to covering you another year coming up in your 6th season here at East Carolina. Glad things are going so well, and we certainly appreciate your time today.
Yeah, no, thank you, Brian. I could talk about my girls all day long, and I really appreciate, the support that Pirate Nation has given us, over the years. Season tickets are on sale. Please go out and buy your season tickets. My goal is for us to average 2,000 people a night, and I think we can do that here. We are an exciting product that we put out on the floor. Our girls work hard. They're unbelievable representatives of this community. We have our annual tip-off dinner that we're going to have on October the 29th. Tickets are on sale. Great opportunity for you to get to know our players, inside look into our program. So just continue to support us, Pirate Nation. We're going to continue to fight hard for you on the court and in the classroom, and Go Pirates.
Go Pirates indeed. Kim McNeill joining us. Thanks so much, Coach. We'll see you at the basketball court soon.
All right, see you soon, Brian.
All righty. Kim McNeill, head basketball coach at East Carolina. We'll take our final break. We'll come back, and we'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show for you coming up after this.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arr!
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV and American Airlines has added a new early morning flight available now. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates.
Big game season is here, and I'm not just talking about Pirate football. Lindsey Gray here with Carolina Caliber. We're ready to blast the cannons in the stands and the fields. You know what I mean. Get ready with us. Take your pick from the largest selection in Eastern NC. Grab a rifle on a scope, and we'll mount and bore sight it for you. Don't forget Springfield's Gear Up promo. Buy a 2020 Waypoint, get a 2020 Rimfire Target Rifle for free. Stay tuned in weekly as we shoot through fall with the best deals around. Shop online or stop by Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville. It's a time-honored tradition.
Want to make your day better? Order a Papa John's pizza. Get an extra large, one-topping New York-style pizza for only $10.99. Made into 8 foldable slices, perfect for sharing or not. See, things just got better, and you get to eat pizza. Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
Pirate Radio.
Mr. Gibbs, Captain, you may throw my hat if you like. Aye, aye, Captain. Hooray! I go and get it.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back as we wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show. Next week, we will talk football. We'll have a Pirate assistant coach on as we preview the Army matchup, and that's really looking like it's going to be a daunting task for East Carolina after all the troubles that the Pirates had against Charlotte in running the football. But we'll talk about that coming up next week. I want to thank Kim McNeill, the East Carolina women's coach, starting her 6th year as the Pirate head coach for the women's program, for her time today and talking East Carolina women's basketball. That's our show. We'll see you back here next Monday. Have yourself a great sports week. He's doing the strongman sign behind me. Oh, the W. They got a win too, didn't they? We'll see you next week on the Brian Bailey Show.
This has been the Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Greenville Utility Company, Michelob Ultra, The Rick House, Taft Hagler, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, right here on Pirate Radio. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Yeah. Cell phone number is toll free if you're on hold. Stay there. If not, phone lines coming up a little bit later on this hour, 1-800-636-8686. But as promised, we start hour number 2 by having a conversation with a senior writer for Yahoo Sports. He is a contributor to the Yahoo